Hi, I'm Kara Betty, and I'm in 11th grade at Mount Greylock High School. I'll be sharing with you my book talk about my book, The Honey Thief by Elizabeth Graver. She's a local author and has also written 3 other titles such as Awake, Unraveling, and Have You Seen Me? Have You Seen Me won the Drew Hines Literature Award, and she has also won the Cohen Award for her short story, The Morning Door. This book in particular got a good review from Catherine Weber of the New York Times Book Review. She says, a completely contemporary story about a girl on the verge of adolescence, remarkably fine-tuned. It remains consistent delicacy. The book tells the story of a troubled young girl named Eva, who seems to have a problem with stealing. In an effort to stop her, her mother moves her from the city to the country. In this move, she becomes a new person, mostly from a newly acquired hobby of beekeeping. She resists the urge to steal for her mother's sake, and through their move to the country, they grow closer as mother and daughter. Personally, I think it was a good story about how someone could change themselves by determination, especially in this case where it was really for her mother's sake. I liked it overall. Even though I have never gotten into things like stealing, I have had to change to better myself. One day, he was out in the field trying to pry off a stuck honey super. He had the prickly sense of human presence nearby, and looked over to see her standing among the pines. "Stay there," he yelled. The bees were anxious, darting at his hat and veil. He wasn't wearing the bee suit and had already been stung a few times. The super was stuck fast, and although Burl kept loosening the edges, it wasn't budging, and sweat had started trickling down his back. This gathering of honey was one of his favorite things, even when it made his muscles ache, even when he got stung. He loved how heavy the supers were, loved the vibrating but manageable haze of danger, so that often he didn't put on the bee suit, and tried instead to radiate a calm, slow-moving, taming presence. Sometimes, as he lifted the brick, pried it off the top, and looked inside, he flung his mind elsewhere, to ancient Greece, or to Nepal, where for generations the honey-gatherers had scaled high cliffs, collecting honeycombs as big as themselves into baskets, which they lowered down on ropes. Burl had read what they had recited bee-calming mantras to the giant black bees, and had seen pictures of nearly naked men clinging to rope ladders, so small, besides the stretch of rock, like insects themselves, the landscape setting them in scale. Sometimes he went so far to pretend he was on a cliff in Nepal, or thought his way to ancient Egypt, where he scooped lime blossom honey from tree hollows, or ancient Athens, where he made his hives from grooved clay pots. This passage was describing Francis, whom Eva, the main character, befriended. He was the one who got her into beekeeping, and pretty much saved her. I would recommend this book to anyone who is having trouble, no matter what kind, in their own life, especially someone who is just entering the age where bad temptations come into play. Even things like peer pressure and feelings of loneliness are brought up, and it makes the book relevant to any teenager. I would also recommend it to somebody who has recently moved, because there are parts of the book that correspond with those types of troubles as well. In closing, I really enjoyed this book, and think many people would too. It's worth the read. Thank you.